would support such programs of national renaissance. What do you think? Will perhaps this Congress today serve as an impulse so that in Russia and in the other republics where our delegates came from, may it lead to a situation where our Ukrainians may create a so-called fifth column in those countries? No, there's no fear no grounds for such fear. This Mr. Drach, who was the deputy of the Ukraine and chairman of the Ukrainian Society, he says, why shouldn't we protect Ukrainians if Yeltsin can protect Russians? There are tens of millions of Ukrainians in Russia and Kazakhstan. So this is 1/3 of Ukraine. So 1/3 of us are living abroad. Can it be that we shouldn't be concerned about them? We are destroying only the empire, but we hope we are sponsoring Russian democracy. Do you suppose they might all come back to so-called Ridna Mama Nenka Ukraina, to my nurse mother Ukraine? No, that's impossible. In the United States and Canada, for example, there are a lot of Ukrainians, and they have to be good citizens of those countries. And Ukrainians in Russia should be good citizens of Russia or of Kazakhstan. There exists this Ridna Mama Nenka Ukraina. Okay, there have been the rumors about unauthorized launches of the SS-19 rocket, but the situation has been discussed by General Gusev. This is the Zenith rocket, which has been launched 15 times with 2 accidents. Only 40 minutes are required for a launch. It was intended to replace the famous rocket number 7, which was used to launch people into space. The Americans said this kind of rocket could not exist. To create such engines, we would need $10 billion in 10 years. The boosters were developed at the Baikonur testing ground. The main mistake in the mistake is the headline. So Moscow is launching rockets from Kazakhstan and is announcing it in Washington. Well, of course, the rocket was launched from Baikonur. If we follow the logic of the article, the rockets launched from Kazakhstan were launched by pushing the appropriate buttons, and Kazakhstan has the right to launch such rockets. We know after the meetings in Almaty and Minsk that the nuclear button is unified, and so the information in the article is not accurate. There was a launch from Kazakhstan, but from Baikonur. So it would seem that there's no hope to shut down this rocket industry. And how about converting military rockets to civilian rockets? Well, these are technical changes that have to be made. And with regard to any boosters, we have to conduct a series of tests and launches. So if we look about launchers, silo launchers, that they will be used in the future for civilian purposes. Yes, I think that strategic weaponry agreements permits us to have 20 launchers, including silo launchers, with certain small changes, which will allow us to deliver loads into orbit. To what degree will Kazakhstan and Almaty influence these launches? Kazakhstan is simply informed of the launches and their trajectories, and as to the casting off of the first stage, so that we might have safe launches, so that Kazakhstan knows about every launch. Any space program under current conditions is impossible nowadays, in my view. That has to do with the infrastructure of our activities, and likewise with the entire infrastructure of the 5 republics of the former Soviet Union. For that reason, to say that any republic aside from Russia might achieve launches, that I think is not accurate. We've decided to come back once more to the events in Georgia, since we just got a program from our special correspondent in Tbilisi. Beginning this week in Tbilisi schools, schools have started up again, although there is no heat. There's problem with water and electricity, so the lessons last only half an hour. Things are very sad. People come, spend about 2 hours, and go home from the factory, since there is no fuel, no electricity. But you can buy bread in the stores. And things are becoming more calm, but these demonstrations have become traditional in support of Gamsahurdia. They want the strikers, those who had a hunger strike, to be released. These are elderly people and women. And they're also talking about a general strike. Well, this is very common. They want to prevent the demonstrators from getting to the center of city. Of course, they're using mainly here blank bullets and smoke bombs. According to our independent news agency, there was a speech by Kaki Asetsyan, who stated that the Supreme Soviet no longer exists, and there is needed a provisional government headed by Mr. Sigwa. So let's move into international topics. In Washington, there was opened today a coordinating conference on aiding the Commonwealth, which was the former Soviet Union. In the American capital, we see the ministries of foreign affairs of almost 50 countries and the leaders of 7 large international organizations. They will discuss how assistance to Russia might be rendered more effectively, and to the other republics, and how they might be assisted in their transition to the market. Mr. Bush opened the conference. He appealed for the creation of a global coalition to aid the Commonwealth, and he said this would be in keeping with the interests of all countries. The president said that he would allocate $1,600 million more of technical and humanitarian assistance. Then the Secretary of State, James Baker, proposed to the participants that they adopt working plans and develop mechanisms for carrying out their plans. According to the press agency Interfax, in Moscow and St. Petersburg, there will be delivered from the European community 8,500 tons of food. 7,500 have already been received. This is Mr. Zhitnikov, who is the head of the committee assistant head of the committee on humanitarian aid. We ask that we be informed if there are improprieties in the distribution of humanitarian aid. We understand very well that the amount that we will receive will depend on how well we distribute this assistance. We don't hope to get this assistance forever. We're asking our colleagues abroad to help us in this very difficult period to move into a market economy. This is not shameful for us to ask this, because we hope in the very near future to be able to begin work in a real way, and we will be able to feed ourselves. We have so many talented, intelligent, strong people. The question of assistance to the Commonwealth was discussed at a meeting between Gorbachev and Mrs. Ensker, or Frau Ensker, who was representative of the Vienna branch of the UN. There was question of effective assistance in the near months. The hope was expressed that there would be coordinated assistance rendered by the world community. Today, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of France will come to Moscow with a short working visit. This is Roland Dumas, who will meet with Marshal Shaposhnikov, and later will meet with his Russian colleague Kozyryev. In the beginning, they will likewise discuss the upcoming visit of Yeltsin to France. Tomorrow, there will be a meeting between Dumas and Yeltsin, and likewise with Gorbachev. Richard Boucher said that from the 26th to the 30th of January, the Secretary of State, Baker, would undertake a trip abroad. He would visit Moscow and Prague. His key point would be a visit to Moscow, and then would talk about the Middle East peace negotiations, which are sponsored by the United States and the Russian Federation. Retired KGB General Kalugin told the special committee on